This week in gaming and tech news.
We finally got Black Flag resynced release date. YouTube has finally had a feature implemented that I've been waiting for a long time. And the EU have released an age verification app.
So let's get right into it.
But just quickly, if you guys like these videos, please like and subscribe. It does really help the channel out and it is greatly appreciated. And you can always unsubscribe. Thank you. Okay, so the first story I want to go over is Assassin's Creed Black Flag Remake, set for July 9th, which I actually do think is quite a good release for it. I feel like they've picked a date that isn't really conflicting with many games. I feel like for the summer there isn't really many heavy hitters out. I do think a lot of games weren't targeting the summer due to GTA 6 supposed to be releasing in May. Still thinking about how this time next month you could probably play GTA 6, but so games got out of the way for that, but then probably moved into it with GTA 6 being delayed. This is not an RPG game, they've said, so there's gonna be, I'm guessing it's still gonna like follow the structure of the original game. They haven't implemented the RPG style of like Odyssey, Valhalla, etc., which I feel like no one wanted them to do. They wanted just a good remake, modern in like controls and how it feels to play. As going back to the original, it does feel quite outdated. I don't think it's aged particularly well, except from the nostalgia and just how good it actually was at the time. So I do feel like this is probably the perfect Assassin's Creed for them to do a remake of, and probably was the game that could really help Ubisoft. I don't think there was another Assassin's Creed or any other game that they could make that could probably get people optimistic about the future of Ubisoft. We're probably going to get an official announcement. This is just a report on Insider Gaming from Tom Henderson, who is very reliable. Probably by the time you are watching this, there might have already been an announcement. Hopefully Ubisoft doesn't take another L with this game. Let's just see how it does.
Next.
Something I'm quite passionate about is not watching shorts. I used to be so addicted to TikTok. I spend like hours a day just doom scrolling. And you're always like, what did I gain out of this? And first I did just create like a 15-minute time limit. And then I just deleted the app. And that helped me a lot. And I've never really been into YouTube shorts, but I can't really delete the YouTube app as I love YouTube. I use it, probably it's my most used app for content. But still seeing those shorts, not having them. Not really having a solution on mobile, as on desktop I installed a Chrome extension which just blocks shorts. Finally rolling out a setting where you can go in your time limit to limit shorts to 0 minutes. So it's not like an official remove shorts, but you basically, there's two different sides of it I've seen. Like you click on it and it instantly kicks you out, or some people are saying that it's fully removed. I don't have access to this feature yet, as Google aren't going to just release it to everyone all at once. They're going to do slow rollouts as a big company like Google. You know, if it has a bug in, you don't want everyone experiencing it, otherwise it can cause a lot of issues and as it could damage their reputation. But I am looking forward to having this feature, and it's the feature I'm going to turn on instantly when I have it. As I just don't like short form content. It is really addictive, and that's the problem with it. Can we just ban short form content? But hey, I don't know, that's just something I feel quite passionate about. Let me know how you guys feel. Do you guys actually watch YouTube shorts?
Next.
Okay, recently the European Union stated that their age verification app is ready to be rolled out to protect kids online. The bloc chiefs von der Leyen, sorry about pronunciation, I am really bad at pronunciation. They said our Europe age verification app is technically ready and will soon be available for citizens to use. But as the app was open source, cyber security experts dove into the source code and said it could be broken into within 2 minutes, as it would store sensitive data on users' phones and leave it unprotected, as it's possible to bypass the app's biometric and authentication features. That's not very good for quite an important app that will have a lot of data stored into it and you can have quite a lot of access to it. A digital spokesperson, Thomas Rayner, did say, now when we say it's the final version, it's still a demo version, and he stated that the final product is not yet available for citizens and the code will constantly be updated and improved. But they also did say the hackers were probing an earlier demo version and the vulnerability has been fixed. So we just have to see how this app actually goes, and for such an app that will probably play quite an important role, hopefully it's safe and secure.
Next.
Okay, it's time for the quick fire round. Matt Booty was recently on an Xbox podcast and stated that the cinematics team of Blizzard is helping with the development of the upcoming Fable title. An article from The Verge stated that the RAM shortage could last years, with memory makers are only expected to meet 60% of their demand by the end of 2027. As the world's largest memory makers Samsung, Hynix and Micron are working to add new fab capacity, but almost none of it will be online until at least 2027, if not 2028. Just when I thought it was going to come down. Slay the Spire 2 roadmap has no release dates, so devs can avoid a sloppy Spire 2. Now, as a gamer, I'm always quite selfish as I want release dates. Like, when I used to play Siege, I would be like, oh, I hope this new season of the Siege is soon, or these features are coming soon. But I guess I never really thought that by having these release dates, it could make it sloppy and not as best as it can. So, I don't know. I guess from their point of view, they are an indie team, so it probably works better for them. I guess they should just keep doing what they're doing, because it clearly works. Probably not having the pressure from executives above them does help them not have these release dates, as not forced to just make it money on the stock market, for example, like other games. So we just have to see how the future of Slay the Spire 2 goes. The White House and Anthropic held a productive meeting amid fears over Mythos model. Anthropic, if you didn't watch my last video, have recently had a model so powerful they aren't releasing to the public, called Mythos, and that only a select amount of companies will have access to it just to like use on their software, and it's already discovered a lot of 0 days on software. It's been quite old. Now, the White House said that it had a productive and constructive meeting with the head of artificial intelligence firm Anthropic, which Anthropic are currently suing the US Department of Defense. So I guess this might make relationships less tense, as they have discussed opportunities for collaboration as well as shared approaches and protocols to address the challenges associated with scaling this technology. So we just have to see how this goes and will this partnership develop. I do think AI is going to become more and more involved with like governments, as it should, with these more powerful models. Apparently OpenAI are also working on like a closed model that will be too powerful for consumer use. So we just have to see how this goes, as this is a very important issue that needs to be dealt with and maintained, so society doesn't just get destroyed by these powerful models. Sam Altman's Orb allows you to verify your Tinder profile, Zoom calls, to prove that you're a real person, as it verifies you from your eye. To verify the user is not a bot or an AI agent, users have to physically visit one of the world's orbs in person, and the orb takes pictures of your face and eyes and then encrypts and stores them on your phone so that only you can control them by default. After completing the facial scan, users can connect it to their world ID to verify you. And man, this is actually going to be the future. We just have to have these massive orbs with us all the time, just or having a face ID on your phone, and you have to have this orb that just scans your eye. Is it any surprise Clear Obscure Expedition Freddy 3 wins Best Game at the BAFTA Games Awards 2026? And I'll put a full list of all the winners on screen, just so you guys can see which game won each category. We have another fast food chain using AI. We had Burger King, but now we have Dairy Queen putting AI chatbot in the drive-thrus, as the fast food chain hopes it will speed up orders and upsell customers. And I do think this is a more practical use than what Burger King was using it to monitor the politeness of its staff. As if you have an AI chatbot, it will all sound the same at different drive-thrus, and it might add consistency, but then again, I don't know how accurate it will be, and will it increase wrong orders or actually decrease? We'll just have to see how it does. We have another positive indie game released with Windrose, with a peak concurrent play count of around 100,000 and with a review average of very positive. So we have another indie game popping off, and I did play the tutorials game. and I do feel there's definitely something there, but it's more of a survival game, and I wanted more of a boat combat game, sort of like Sea of Thieves, and that's the way. It is still an early access, so I might eventually get it in the future. I am gonna. It's just good to see these indie games popping off. A game I have been playing a lot recently is Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. It did get a Metascore of 78, which is probably about right. It's not a masterpiece game, it's just a fun game. You can make your family, make your friends, and get your favourite characters from shows and stuff. Sadly, on the DS one, you can't like download them off the internet by scanning QR codes. I do miss that. Getting like characters like Voldemort, Darth Maul, and Onto Island was fun. But workaround I found was using Miitopia and just downloading it to my Switch like that. But it's not the best, and hopefully they add more social features in the future. It's just a fun game. We can just mess around. Google are apparently going to release Gucci branded smart glasses next year. Going to compete with Meta and their partnership with Ray-Ban. And I do think this is going to be like the next. Apple are also working on their own glasses. So we just have to see if it's actually going to take off. And like VR, for example. Sure, we found that Live Nation, the company behind Ticketmaster, violated antitrust law on several counts. But the company warns in a blog post that the verdict is not the last word on this matter. So they're looking for revenge, and this is not going to be the last of it. The Overwatch port for the Switch 2. Apparently there's a bug that is didn't get updated to the Switch 2 version. So it says it's a Switch 2 version, but it might still be the Switch 1 version, as it's still running at 30 FPS. I don't know if it's just laziness from Blizzard or is it actually a bug causing this. As we did see this with Skyrim, we just have to see if this gets fixed. Snapchat is cutting 1,000 jobs as it say AI will reduce repetitive work. Would it be a gaming and tech video if we didn't mention layoffs? And it's just a different company each time. Hopefully everyone involved manages to get a job. I know the job market is really cooked at the moment, so hopefully it gets better in the future, but probably going to get even worse. Customers of Booking.com warned of reservation hijacking after a hack. The data breach impacted the travel giant, leading to scams recently dubbed as reservation hijacks, as hackers stole customer data, which could lead to a surge in scams where their customers are tricked into sending criminals money. And some customers have already stated to the BBC that they have received suspicious messages. And finally, Starfield's PS5 port manages roughly 140k sales in a week. So yeah, that's this week's gaming and tech video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Latest gaming and tech news every week. Keeping nerds up to date. Yeah, you know the rest.